Understanding behavioral economics, key concepts in human decision making. Behavioral economics is an interdisciplinary field that integrates insights from psychology with traditional economic theory to better understand human behavior. It challenges the classical assumption of human rationality, where individuals are presumed to always make decisions that maximize their utility. Instead, behavioral economics recognizes that people often act irrationally due to cognitive limitations, emotional influences, and social factors. These deviations from rational decision-making have profound implications across various domains, from personal finance to public policy. Below are 10 key concepts in behavioral economics that shed light on the complexities of human decision-making. Bounded rationality, a concept introduced by Herbert Simon, suggests that human beings are not capable of making fully rational decisions due to cognitive limitations and constraints in time and information. Instead, individuals aim for satisfactory outcomes rather than optimal ones. When making decisions, people use cognitive shortcuts, or heuristics, to simplify complex problems. For instance, instead of considering every possible option in a decision, individuals focus on a few key factors that are easy to evaluate. While this often leads to efficient decision-making, it can also result in biases and suboptimal choices. Developed by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, prospect theory outlines how individuals evaluate potential gains and losses. It argues that people are loss-averse, meaning they experience the pain of losing something more intensely than the pleasure of gaining an equivalent amount. This leads individuals to make decisions based on avoiding losses rather than maximizing gains. For example, an investor may hold on to a losing stock for too long, hoping to avoid realizing the loss, even if selling would lead to a better overall portfolio. Mental accounting refers to the psychological process by which individuals divide their finances into separate accounts based on subjective criteria, such as the source of the money or its intended purpose. For instance, people might view money received as a gift differently from their earned income, even though the total amount is the same. This can lead to inconsistent spending behaviors, such as splurging on a luxury item with a tax refund while saving meticulously from regular income. Mental accounting highlights the psychological barriers that prevent people from treating money as fungible. Anchoring is a cognitive bias where people rely too heavily on the first piece of information they receive when making decisions. The initial information, or anchor, serves as a reference point and can heavily influence subsequent judgments, even if it's irrelevant. In a pricing context, for example, if a product is first presented with a high price and then discounted, consumers may perceive the discounted price as a better deal, even if the original price was artificially inflated. The endowment effect is a psychological phenomenon where people tend to assign greater value to items they own than to equivalent items they do not own. This bias explains why individuals may overvalue their possessions, making them reluctant to trade or sell them, even if it would be financially beneficial. For example, a person may be unwilling to sell a used car at market value, even though it might be worth more to a potential buyer. The emotional attachment to ownership increases perceived value and can hinder rational decision-making. Status quo bias is the tendency to prefer the current state of affairs and resist change. This bias can lead individuals to maintain existing behaviors, even when alternatives may offer better outcomes. People are often reluctant to make decisions that could disrupt the familiar, even if change could be advantageous. For example, workers may stick with outdated software or tools simply because they are accustomed to them, or consumers may continue subscribing to services they no longer need. Status quo bias can also hinder organizational change and innovation, as employees and companies alike may resist new ideas. Hyperbolic discounting describes the tendency of individuals to disproportionately favor smaller, immediate rewards over larger, delayed ones. This preference for the present over the future leads to decisions that may not be in one's best long-term interest. For example, someone may choose to spend money on an immediate luxury purchase rather than saving for retirement or investing in their future. This time-inconsistent behavior is especially evident in situations involving procrastination, such as when students delay studying or when individuals fail to exercise regularly despite knowing the long-term health benefits. Social preferences refer to the way in which people's decisions are influenced by considerations of fairness, reciprocity, and social norms, rather than strictly self-interest. For instance, Individuals often show a willingness to sacrifice personal gains to help others, or they may punish unfair behavior, even if it doesn't benefit them directly. This concept is critical for understanding behaviors in social and organizational contexts. For example, in experiments, people may choose to reduce their own financial payoff in order to ensure others do not receive unfair advantages. Nudge theory, pioneered by Richard Thaler and Cass Sunstein, posits that subtle changes in how choices are presented can significantly influence people's decisions without restricting their freedom. By framing options in a way that encourages desired behaviors, policymakers and organizations can nudge people toward better decisions. For example, default options, such as automatic enrollment in retirement savings plans, can lead people to make decisions that align with their long-term best interests. Nudging works by subtly guiding people's choices in ways that maintain autonomy while improving decision outcomes. The scarcity effect refers to the phenomenon where people perceive things as more valuable when they are scarce or in limited supply. This psychological bias is often exploited in marketing strategies, where products labeled as limited edition or while supplies last create a sense of urgency. This perceived scarcity increases demand and can lead individuals to make quick, irrational decisions to acquire the item. The scarcity effect explains behaviors such as impulse buying and hoarding, driven by the fear of losing out on something valuable. Behavioral economics reveals the complexities of human decision-making, showing that people often act in ways that deviate from traditional economic theories of rationality. Cognitive biases, emotional influences, social norms, and other psychological factors all play a significant role in shaping the choices we make. Understanding these key concepts helps explain why individuals and organizations sometimes make irrational decisions and offers insights into improving decision-making processes in both personal and professional contexts. By integrating these insights, policymakers, businesses, and individuals can design interventions and strategies that promote better, more informed decisions. Stay tuned for more insights into business and the social sciences. If you found this overview helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on future topics you'd like us to cover. I'm Dr. Dag, wishing you a fantastic day ahead